Although you can add a reference to a class library using a DLL file, as you did in Lesson 1-2, you would have to rebuild the class library and replace the DLL file every time you made changes to it. If you add a class library project to the same solution as your target project, you can make changes to the class library much more easily. To begin this lesson, open the Textland project from your Sample Files folder. And you're going to add the Encryption library project to this solution. To do this, click File, Add, Existing Project. Now navigate to your Sample Files folder, open the Encryption library folder, click encryptionlibrary.csproj, and click Open. The Encryption library project is added to this solution. You can now easily edit both projects at the same time. As mentioned in Session 1 of the Essential Skills course, a solution file, that's a .sln file, can link to multiple project files. Those are the .csproj files. Next, build the Encryption library project. To do this, right-click on Encryption Library in the Solution Explorer and click Build from the shortcut menu. You need to build the project before you can add a reference to it. Now you're going to add a reference to the Encryption library project within the Textland project. Right-click Textland in the Solution Explorer and click Add Reference from the shortcut menu. Now click the Solution category, and you can see the Encryption library project listed in the central pane. Tick the box next to Encryption library and click OK. The classes from the Encryption library project will now be available in the Textland project. Because you referenced the project directly instead of using a DLL file, you can be confident that the Textland project will always use the latest code from the Encryption library project. Now, to prove that the reference is working correctly, you're going to use the Encryption library project's methods within the Textland project. Open the code behind file of encryption.aspx from the Textland project. Now remove all code from the button encrypt click event handler and add the following code in its place. String encryption key equals text box encryption key dot text dot padWrite 32. Byte encryption key equals encoding dot utf8 dot get bytes string encryption key. This code retrieves the encryption key from the page. String encrypted string equals encryption library dot encryption functions dot encrypt string text box encryption dot text encryption key initialization vector. This code calls the encrypt string method from the class library. You can access any of the class library's functions within the Textland project as though it were part of the same project. Now add the following code on the next line. Textbox_encryption.text equals encrypted string. The text in the text box encryption control can now be encrypted with much less code than was needed previously. Now test the project by viewing encryption.aspx in your web browser. When the page loads, click Encrypt, and the text is encrypted using the code in your class library without any problems. Close your web browser now, and close Visual Studio. You've now completed Lesson 4.5. Add a class library to a project.